So we got a question from YouTube, and by the way, if you want your questions answered, post them below on YouTube. Question is, how to build good sexual tension when interacting with a woman. So I suppose I should focus on the sexual tension part of this rather than the good part of this, because I don't know if there's such a thing as bad sexual tension, really. I suppose if you were like a creepy stalker, that would be bad sexual tension. But generally, the problem with sexual tension for most guys with girls is that it just doesn't exist in their interactions. There is no sexual tension. This is because most guys are playing very risk-free type of game. They're playing to avoid rejection, avoid a negative emotion, rather than to actually succeed. So what ends up happening is the very things that they could do to build sexual tension, they don't do, i.e. show interest in the girl, say how they really feel, these kind of things. And also, when a little sexual tension creeps in, most guys actually actively avoid it. So let's say you're talking with a girl, and there is a little like mention of something vaguely sexual, and then there's a little like awkward pause afterwards. That awkward pause is a good thing. You want that awkward pause. But most guys, oh, it's a little awkward, let me change the subject and talk about the weather, and just undo everything I just did before, right? So first part of building sexual tension is when you actually do build the sexual tension, not immediately destroying it and running to safety, right? I know when I was growing up, I was the absolute worst at this. I remember I was in freshman year of high school. This girl came and sat next to me in like drama class, and she put her hand on my thigh and whispered in my ear, "You're so hot." And I was like nervous and didn't know what to do. So I was like, I have to go get a drink now. And I ran over to the drinking fountain to go get a drink. That was my solution. Because I was afraid of sexual tension. I was afraid of the awkwardness. I was afraid I didn't know what to do, etc. And I was afraid of maybe future potential rejection. And this is how most guys are. Most guys are actively avoiding sexual tension. Right? Creating sexual tension is not that hard. Right? Creating sexual tension, there's a million ways to do it. Hey, you know what? I just noticed you're quite cute. Oh, you created a little bit of sexual tension. Right? Or, a girl, says something about anything involving the words wet, hard, or anything that can be misinterpreted in any way vaguely sexual, and you just go, oh, really? And all of a sudden, with a little pause and silence, you built sexual tension, right? So sexual tension, basically, if you are thinking of the girl in a sexual way and you're willing to express that and not run away from it once you have expressed it, you've created sexual tension. Pretty simple. Why don't most guys do this? Well, one, they're afraid that like the girl will, jump and be like, oh my God, he likes me. Everybody look, he created sexual tension with me, right? There's this thing as like kids, right? That you don't want to have a crush on someone. You don't want to be like, you don't want that attention on yourself. You don't want to be called out. But as adults, you're supposed to like girls. As an adult man, you are supposed to find girls attractive and be aroused by them. It would be weird if you didn't. So it would be equally weird if a girl like called you out, and it's just not gonna fucking happen, right? There's no real negative consequence, right? The negative consequence is you're like, well, I really don't feel that way about you, which will happen one time in a blue moon. It's barely ever gonna happen. But if it did happen, well, you didn't have anything to lose anyway because she didn't like you in the first place. So yeah, maybe it's emotionally awkward a little bit, but you didn't even lose anything in terms of real results. So how to build sexual tension? Mainly it's decide you're going to. Decide this is going to be an interaction with some sexual tension. And decide you're going to play to win rather than to like not lose or feel good. That's really what you need to do. And then when you do build that sexual tension, sit with it. If you leave that awkward silence, that awkward pause, and she fills it in first, well, now she's chasing you, she's gaming you, she's more reactive than you are. But if you leave an awkward pause, like, oh, I'm sorry, did I leave an awkward pause? Let me talk about some, mundane subject. Well, that's the surest way to never make a girl think of you in a sexual way and probably never get laid. All right? So how do you build sexual tension? Essentially, you take the risk.